Is it Sting?
It's a special.
No, we can talk to him right now.
We can talk to him right now.
Right now.
I know.
Is he on?
No, I hung up on him, Matt.
What did he say?
He says he's ready to go.
All right.
Did he say?
And then he said, "Ow!"
Did he say it's showtime, folks?
No, he didn't.
Oh man, I was hoping he would.
Who you talk to?
This is exciting. This is not even like the first time we've talked to him, but it's man, he's our guy. We had the conversation a couple months ago where everybody always said, "Are you Hogan or Flair guy?" And we're like, neither. We're Sting guy.
Sting guys.
Sting, good morning.
Good morning.
Holy
How's it going?
moly! Look at you, sir. How are you?
I'm good. I love whoever it is you're talking to. You're asking him all these questions. Did he say "woo"? You know, all this stuff.
Yeah.
No, he didn't. He's just so dry. I like that. He's animated. He's dry. I just love the contrast. No, he didn't do that. No.
Oh, that's good.
I was putting you over, brother.
Oh man, love to listen at him. So, how are things going, man? You doing good?
I'm doing really, really good. Yeah.
You know what's just crazy about you is like, you'll see a lot of the guys from the same time period in which you wrestled, and we'll get to your current status in a moment, but you took care of yourself, man. Like a lot of these guys now, they look 20 or 30 years older than they are. And when we did I feel like you had a birthday recently, and we were talking about that, and I was like, wow, you've kept it together. What's the secret?
Well, you know what? The era that I came up in wrestling was a lot different than the guys that are performing now. I mean, when I started, it was alcohol, it was pot, it was steroids, it was all the above, and especially the steroids, and the guys competing at levels, weight levels that they should have never been, 40, 50 pounds heavier than their body was made to be. Right. And it just took its toll on guys like that. And being a human Super Bowl every night and all that. I mean, I took steroids too. When I got into wrestling, I was doing bodybuilding and competing in bodybuilding competitions in Southern California. And so, I was on and off of them until 1990. So, okay. I mean, even I was there, but, thank God, I was just like, you know what, this has got to stop, because I was seeing health problems already early on with some of the guys and thinking, man, I'm not going to do this to myself. And, and I'd go out and entertain the crowd and go woo, and they'd go woo back. And I'd think, why do I need the steroids? So yeah. I stopped doing it. And I think, that's part of the reason. It's not just steroids. And I'm not saying every single guy did that, but I've noticed that a lot of the guys that are, having their knees replaced, they're having their hips replaced, and it's just the abuse with drugs and everything else. So
it's gosh, it's probably been 10 years ago now. But whenever Kurt Angle was like he was still with WWE. They were at the then Bilo Center here in Greenville, and we walk in the back because we were going to get to do a little intro in the ring prior to Raw, and first person we saw was Kurt Angle, and he was all hunched over, hobbling around, and he wasn't even injured. But I was like, that guy just left it all out on the mat or in the ring, and I felt awful because it was almost like you were just seeing a guy who just literally gave his body to the sport or to the entertainment and was just and he's still wrestling now, of course, but I see you walking around and moving about and still wrestling at Mania and things like that, and it's kudos to you about your training regimen and your lifestyle too for keeping it together.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you very much. I mean, I believe I could have had that one more too at this last WrestleMania, but the injuries to the neck that happened to me last September and all, and it's the liability is just too much. So, long story short, I honestly I didn't know if I was going to retire until really, honestly, to the last moment. It's just like you just don't want to hang it up, and it's amazing coming from a guy like me because I'm the guy who didn't even know what pro wrestling was when I got into it. I'm not a second generation guy or anything like that. Didn't have it on TV when I was a kid, so for me to end up where I ended up, never dreamed of being a pro wrestler, and I ended up there.
Exactly right. We're talking to the icon, the man called Sting right now. I'm going to be in Lincoln High School tomorrow night. We'll be there. Sting will be there. Yeah. I've been watching. I watched Into the Light, the WWE film about you, for the second time this week, just because I'm so excited to go to Lincoln. I want to ask you, how's married life treating you since last year?
Oh man, it's awesome.
Yeah,
I'm a happy man, and life is good.
Good.
Good
I know we're going to be all over the place with this because, look, we are what you would probably call like major marks. I mean, like we're huge Sting marks, but talking about the injury, that dream match that everybody has always wanted when it comes to you because of all the years of you not going to work for Vince, whatever the reasons were, but I think every wrestling fan always assumes there was always that final match, that retirement match, that fantasy dream match. Was it the match that everybody thought it was? And I'm referring to Undertaker. I think everybody was always just real thirsty for Sting and Undertaker. But if you could have picked your retirement match, I don't think it would have been against Seth Rollins. Who would it have been against, and would it have been Taker?
Well, yeah, I've been very outspoken about that for quite a long time now. But yeah, it would have been Taker for sure. I would have loved to have wrestled him at Mania, and no matter what the outcome of that match would have been, I would have definitely ended up putting my boots in the middle of the ring. Very very soon after, and it's like people say, you've done everything. Wow, what a career, Mm-hmm. But I feel like, one of the things, thank God I ended up with WWE, and I went in and I did WrestleMania, and I even wrestled for the world title against Seth Rollins. And, I'm glad that I have those bragging rights. To me, it's like to finish a career and not be able to say that you did WrestleMania, something's wrong with that. So, I'm glad that I did that. But the one thing missing for me was that match with Undertaker. Yeah. So, I don't know, man.
Well, we can always wonder the what ifs.
Do it. Come back and do it.
He can. It's too much liability. The knack, man. He's got a life. He's got a wife. He's got kids.
That's true. You got to take care of the family. Or maybe you can put me on one of my favorite Sting matches. I always loved Sting and the Great Muta together. I mean, I even like the Great American Bash 1989. It wasn't a long match, but it was great throughout. I just love the whole thing. What's the best Sting Muta match I could pull up on WWE Network and watch?
Oh man, so many of the old matches. I remember, glimpses of certain matches, but I don't. A lot of times I don't even know what city they were in. People say, "Oh, remember Starrcade?" Whatever year it was, and I don't remember who I wrestled. I remember the big ones, world title matches against Ric Flair and all this, and I remember great matches with Muta in Japan and here in the United States, and he was. We were about the same size, and he had his style and I had mine, and it just seemed like it kind of worked together really well. Yeah. I loved working with him. It
was good, man. God, you got me thinking now about the Muta matches. I haven't watched those in a while. That's great stuff.
Terrified of Muta back in the late 80s. I remember one time he was dressed all in white. I was a kid watching on the fuzzy old TV. Muta and I don't know, some of the other guys just giving it to you, Stinger, like all over the ring, just beating the mess out of you, basically. Yeah. I was terrified of Great Muta until you got your revenge.
I got it, didn't I? Yeah, that's good.
You got it. We're talking with Sting tomorrow night in Lincolnton, North Carolina, at Lincolnton High School. Big time wrestling. Sting will be there. Magnum TA will be there. Lex Luger.
Magnum TA is going to be there.
Magnum is going to be there, man.
Oh my God!
What?
I mean, already, Lex. I heard Bagwell's going to be there. Yeah, Rock and Roll Express. I mean, this is going to be like a reunion tour.
Well, that's why these are so good. Big time wrestling. We've done several. Jeff, the guy you were talking with on the phone that got you on, he's our assistant producer, but he's also a wrestler. And Nine and I here, we go and manage him at the wrestling event. So we've done several with big time wrestling, but that's what's so good about what they do is it's hard to get folks to say, hey, come out to this indie wrestling show to see people you've never heard of before. But when they get legends out there like you doing the meet and greets and signing and taking pictures and all this, and then you get them to stay there and watch the wrestling, suddenly they're exposed to the next generation of what hopefully will be the next guys you see on TV.
Right, and and I don't forget my beginnings. This is where I started. All over this area, and I'm looking forward to not just seeing all the guys I used to run them down the roads with, but to go back to the grassroots humble beginnings, and I've done a few of these for this same promoter up in the Northeast, and it's really good for me. I mean, I love to go out there and and take pictures, shake hands, and meet people.
Yeah.
And it just reminds me, and the smell of the older venues and the high school gyms and all this. I remember it. I miss it, and
they still smell the same after all these years up there.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good to see everybody. I guess I'll be meeting everybody between 6 and 8 o'clock tomorrow night.
Yes, sir.
How does Sting? How does a man of your stature, arguably one of the biggest wrestlers ever, just avoid the backstage politics? Because you never hear Sting stories like you hear Hogan stories about you putting your hands in storylines, this, that, or the other. You kept a clean nose. Great question.
You mean how have I avoided all of it?
Yeah, how do you avoid all the BS backstage?
I think, it's like when you see all these guys doing the quote shoot interviews, and people will always dog out Flair and Hogan and a lot of these guys, but you never hear anybody say a cross word about you ever.
It's like you never see Sting say a cross word about anybody.
No, is that what it is? You just you don't talk crap.
I learned a long time ago, in this business that you got to be careful what you say and who you say it to. Of course, this is in life in general. But we're traveling gypsies pretty much. It's in our blood. We speak Carney. This started from gypsies in caravans and carnivals and all that. And so this kind of blood is in our system. And man, the cutthroat backstage politics. I mean, you do have to learn how to be a chess player, that's for sure. But you can talk poorly about somebody who is the guy that sets and breaks down the ring every event, and he could end up being the CEO of the company.
That's true.
And I watched this happen over and over and over again, and or he could end up being the booker, and I saw this over and over and over again, and so. It's like, wow, you just keep your mouth shut,
Yeah.
I mean, just get out there and do your job. If you don't like what you're doing, if you don't like what they're asking you to do, then come up with something better. I learned that. That's another lesson I learned. I mean, you better come up with a better idea. If you say, I don't want to do that, or you can't just say no.
Yeah.
You gotta say, hey, how about let's do it like this?
Right.
How about this?
Yeah.
And come with a different angle, and then treat everybody else the way you'd like to be treated. It's the old line, the old cliche line, but it's true. And man, in the early days before internet and all that, we call them the rag sheets,
dirt sheets, yes,
dirt sheets. Now there's nothing that is sacred anymore with the internet and everything else. Everybody's private lives they're all over out there, and so I just learned to just do your job. Just get out there and work. Stop moaning. Stop complaining. Just work. Just get out. I mean, be grateful and thankful that you got a job, that you're a pro wrestler. You know how many guys they dream about doing WrestleMania. They dream about being, even in a high school gym.
Yeah.
My niece just married a guy. He's going to be with me tomorrow night. Zach Jackson. He wants to be a pro wrestler so bad, and he's working at it, and he's going to probably end up living in the area and working for some promoter out there in the area and doing the independent circuit. And so, but he's just excited to be able to get in the ring.
Yeah.
Excited just to be able to go to an event at a high school gym.
Yeah, you got to remember where you came from and stay grounded, and that's with anything in life.
Yeah. I mean, and then I was taught by the old school guys too to, in the beginning, I learned respect. Keep your mouth shut and learn. I mean, the guys that go out and shooting off their mouth and saying, "Oh, let's do this, let's do that." And, wait, you've been wrestling for how long? Why don't you just be quiet and listen?
That's true.
And then I started very humble and slept in my car, and I made $25 for a TV taping. I made maybe $50 for a match, and going broke. And so I remember, but so many guys over the years will say, "Man, I got this idea, Sting. I want to be a pro wrestler. I think I'm going to dye my hair blonde, and I'm gonna, wear this kind of. I'm going to get a tattoo here, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do that." And I got this idea, and it's like, what? You're going to have to learn. Do the grassroots of it. Go to a wrestling camp. You need to wrestle at the high school gyms. You need to wrestle with, 50 people in the audience, and hecklers out there that are ripping you apart. You're going to have to learn the business and learn respect for the business.
Pay them dues. That's right.
Exactly right. And those principles apply to just about anything anybody wants to do.
Yeah.
And you mentioned the old days living in the car and $25 for a TV tape and whatnot. I read about it online somewhere. Just have seen the story here or there over the years that Gordon Sumner, bass player Sting, pays you $1 per year to use the name Sting over here. Is that true?
No, that is so not true.
Okay.
No, I remember when I lived in Atlanta, Chastain Park, Sting was doing a concert there, and I hate to use this whole cliche line, but his people called my people. That's really what happened.
Yeah, sure.
And it was like 1990, early 90s, and then I stepped up there. He brought me up on the stage and put his guitar around my neck and treated me really well. And he just said, "Man, I got to meet you. My 9-year-old son's got your poster up in his bedroom," and I said, "I got to meet this guy, this pro wrestler guy, Sting," and he treated me really, really, really well.
Yeah.
And I've trademarked my name and likeness and all that, so I'm sure his is all trademarked too. But he's an entertainer, so am I. But we're different genres. I mean,
Sure.
different.
He's fake Sting. You're real Sting.
That's what we say. Is that we call him anytime we bring up the name Sting on the show, we say, "Wait a minute, Sting or fake Sting?" And he, of course, is fake Sting. You're real Sting. Everybody knows that. Well, let me ask you this, Sting, and we know you got to run. Tuesday, WWE is going to be here. They're at SmackDown down at the Bon Secours Wellness Arena, the old Bilo Center, and we're going to have AJ Styles in studio with us. I look at him and I see a lot of you. What are your thoughts on AJ? And I would even like to preface it by saying I think I would like to play whatever you're going to say right now about him for him on Tuesday. What are your thoughts for AJ Styles about where he is in his career right now? Because kind of the same path of he never jumped to WWE like you kind of held out. You did the TNA stuff. You did this. You did that. Never jumped the ship until toward the end. And, of course, he's in there now a little younger. What are your thoughts about the phenomenal one, AJ Styles?
Well, I do believe that he is phenomenal. And I've always said that AJ is one of the most creative and innovative wrestlers, I've ever seen. He's got just such incredible ability, and I've been in the ring with him, and his timing, his moves, his ability, I think, man, I wish I would have had him when I was, the young Sting, But man, I am so glad that he made it into WWE. When I heard he was there, it's like I wanted to beeline to him, and I saw him in the green room of the hotel, and went right to him and gave him a big hug and big smiles, and then he went out there and tore it up with Chris Jericho, and so I'm just glad it all worked out for AJ. I think he deserves it, and he should be there.
Yeah, I think we all are. And also on a personal note, we're in Greenville, South Carolina, and Nine here actually grew up with Mikey. I assume y'all are now kind of close.
Oh yeah, Mikey Carvajal from Islander.
From Islander, the band Islander.
Yeah. Wow.
Nine grew up with him and used to watch your matches with each other before they go to church on Wednesday nights.
Don't you let Mikey fool you though. One time we were watching a fall brawl. He dressed up like Ultimate Warrior, not like Sting.
It's true.
Oh man, as soon as I hang up, I'm calling him.
Call Mikey and tell him that.
As a matter of fact, this is the promoter that I'm doing this event for tomorrow night. We did, I forget what place somewhere in the Northeast, but Mikey was there.
Oh, really?
And I hadn't seen him in a while, and so he popped in with his wife. And
he's a good dude.
It's good to see him. Yeah, he is.
Real good dude.
Real quick, Sting, what about your son? Is he going to play football this year? What's going on with that?
Man, you know what? He had 5 or 6 NFL teams last year that wanted him to come and work out, and they only have 34 teams or whatever it is, and so most of the guys' teams do all their workouts and tryouts on one weekend, and then the next weekend is the second group. And so he had to choose only 2 teams. He chose the New York Jets, and he just tore it up with the Jets for 3 straight days, or 4 days. Didn't drop a ball. They threw so many balls to him, and he learned the offense real quick. And Superman catches out in the end zone in front of head coach, and and agents and scouts saying, "Oh, you're going to get picked up. There's no question. You're going to get picked up." And he just never got picked up.
Oh, wow.
That's too bad.
So he's out there trying it again, and he's more jacked than he's ever been physically.
Yeah.
And he's my son, so of course I'm going to talk him up. But if I'm watching him and he's no relation to me at all, I'm saying, man, this kid is extremely athletic.
It's
and
crazy.
And explosive.
It's crazy to think that, like, a few months ago we were doing a big time show and the Animal from the Road Warriors were there, and we were talking about his son playing football, and now we're talking with you about your son playing football. It's just we're getting old, Sting. That's what it is. We're getting old.
I know, man. It's really bad when you have somebody come and say, "Oh gosh, can I get your autograph? Oh my gosh, please. Oh yeah, sure. What's your name? Oh no, it's not for me. It's for my mom." And this person is like 35 years old.
I know. It's like when Steamboat was telling us Little Dragon now is a BMX motorcycle racer or something. It's we're getting old. I don't like it. I don't like it. Listen, tomorrow night, Lincolnton, North Carolina, Lincolnton High School. We're excited about it. I know tons of people the buzz is out there for Sting. People have even asked me, "Hey, is it the real Sting?" I'm like, my Lord, he knows where he came from. He ain't going to be one of them hot shots that says, "I'm not going to Lincolnton."
Man, that's the one thing about me is if I say I'm going to be there, I'm going to be there. I missed one event in all the years. We got snowed in, the Road Warriors and Luger and me, and we got snowed in Pittsburgh. We couldn't get to Richmond, Virginia.
Oh, wow.
That was about the only show I can ever remember missing, only event. And all these events that I'm doing and these independent shows for this promoter, that's like they say, "I didn't think you were going to be here."
Right.
I really didn't think you were going to be here. I thought it was going to be somebody else. But I'm like, man. So this time I'm doing radio. This is really Sting. Not. I'm not going to sing Roxanne for you. I'm going to come out there, and I'm going to, I'll have my baseball bat and I'll shake hands and say hello.
Fantastic. And
I might do a few woos in the ring.
Oh, good. So, listen, we've done a lot of these legend shows, and we've taken pictures with guys, like we did one with Ron Simmons here recently. Of course, take a picture, but this is the first time ever we're actually bringing something to get signed, and of course it's. Nine's fiance is an artist, and she did a painting of you that, dude, when you see it, you're going to want a copy of it. It's beautiful, and he's going to ask you to sign it for him. It's
can't wait
awesome.
to show it off.
I actually ordered a pair of black leather boots to get you to sign. I'm not kidding. That's how big of a deal it is for us to meet you, man. We used to go to the auditorium and watch you on Monday nights.
I got people who say, "Sign my arm, sign my hand, or my neck," and then they tattoo it.
Good Lord.
Man, there are people who got my face on their body, and they're going to regret it.
Charge him, Sting. Don't do it for free, Sting. Charge him.
Listen to him. You chill out. Listen.
They're working a heel bit over here.
Right. He's shooting on us. Listen.
It would be my pleasure to sign the boots and the painting. I'm looking forward to seeing the painting. I love to see good artwork for sure.
Tweet it to him right now, Nine, so you can see it.
I'll tweet it to Sting right now.
Listen, we're excited about it, as you can tell, and everybody, this is a chance for, if you got kids, I know how it is now. This generation's on iPads and YouTube and all this crap. You want to get your kids exposed to wrestling, bring them to meet a living legend tomorrow night in Lincolnton and meet Sting and stay for the wrestling. It's going to be a great time. Always good to talk to you, Sting. We sure do appreciate it, man.
Good talking with you, too. It's my pleasure. Looking forward to seeing you guys tomorrow night.
All right, we'll do it. Thanks a lot, sir.
Stinger.
All right.
See ya.
Almighty.
Oh, he's the best.
That was good.